On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to delete and patch an electrical socket box and fix the drywall around it without using any wood or screws. So stay tuned. Welcome to Fix This House. If you're new to the channel, please consider pressing the subscribe and notification bell so you can always be in tune on DIYs, how-to videos, and product reviews that I do within this channel. Just a quick disclaimer, friends, I'm not going to be working with live power today or be showing you how to disconnect the power from your breaker or from its electrical source. If you do have that situation, please, if you're uncomfortable, hire a professional certified electrician. Working with electricity is very, very dangerous. You always have to have your up to code in your area. Make sure you have proper permits. So make sure that you check the full disclaimer down below. So like what I mentioned, I'm only going to be showing you how to remove the J-box and wires, assuming that there's no more power going through this J-box. And also I'm going to be showing you how to patch this drywall. So with that being said, let's get to it. So let's say you want to delete an outlet box. You have no more use for this anymore. This can either be where an outlet used to be or a receptacle, or this could have been where a switch is. Let's just say this was located up above, like 4 feet from your finished floor, your outlet, your switch. You're not using it anymore. I'm assuming that you hired an electrician already. You got the power taken off, you got these taken off, and all you're left is just the J-box itself and a wire that is dangling right here. If you did hire an electrician, they would have probably pulled this out for you. So let's pull this out. Okay. You're only left with the J-box itself. So what do? Well, you have a couple of options depending on what J-box that you have. Sometimes you have a new work J-box where it's nailed to the studs. So with that, if you do have that situation, what you're gonna do is you're gonna sandwich one of these handheld hacksaws, this mini hacksaw like what I have. Again, all the tools that I use in this video, I'll leave it in the description down below. You're just gonna squeeze it right there between the J-box and the stud, and you're just pretty much gonna start hacking away and cutting away this nail attached to this. There's also another situation where if you have a old work, this is actually a lot easier to take out, because all you're gonna need to do is pretty much, just take your screwdriver or your drill and just pretty much loosen it. This locks will fall. Same thing on the bottom, it'll fall, and you can pretty much take it out like that. But if you have something like this is what we call an adjustable old work J-box. So let me zoom in right quick. This is pretty easy to take out. If I shine a light right, there's 2 screws on the side, so it makes it a lot easier. That's why anytime that I want to add a receptacle, I try to use old work J-boxes or these adjustable types, because they're so easy to take out later in the future. Just pull it off and you're just left with the hole. My technique for today is I'm not going to show you how to fix this with the wood or screws or with clips. I already made a video on that, on how to fix drywall holes 6 different ways. Check out the link on the top right here, 6 ways to fix drywall damages and holes. I'm going to show you a pretty cool trick that you can use so that if you're running out of those items, you can just pretty much patch this quick and easy, and we can get on our way. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make a bevel, an inside bevel, let's just say a 45-degree bevel that is going out of the drywall. Now there's many ways to do this. You can use many tools. You can use a hacksaw, just bevel it like that way, or you can use a drywall saw. I don't want to use this because look at the teeth on the drywall saw. It makes such big cuts that it could pretty much mess up the edges of the bevel. I think my preferred way for this is using one of these utility knives, because it's a lot cleaner cut when you're doing this. So I'll show you using 3 of these methods. If I see that this is making a lot of damage, I will stop. I'm gonna make a 45-degree bevel about 1/2 inch out of here. So just gonna measure, let's say 1/2 inch, just draw 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch on each side. Get my straight edge, draw it like that. So that's the point of this cutout, is to make a nice beveled insert for our piece that's going to go in. And use Yeah, I know this is made for metal, PVC or whatnot, but you can use this in so many ways. There's no rules on telling you not to use it. Make sure that your blade is touching the edge of the inside and your blade is touching the edge of this line right here so that you have a nice 45-degree cut. This is making a lot cleaner cuts. See that? This is something for, you know, the average DIYer. This is not made for contractors who have a time schedule that gotta do everything fast. This is just for, you know, if you're at home and you want to just do this, taking your time, making it look good. So everything that I teach here is for different, you know, situations. It's not for everybody. So there you go. You have a nice beveled. Let's try now using a utility knife on one end. So let's do this. So I'm just gonna take my utility knife and just put out the blade all the way that I can, but still kind of stable. And then we're gonna make a cut. So just like that. So this one, a utility knife actually makes a clean cut as well. See that? And actually I prefer the utility knife. You just gotta be really careful. It is super sharp. You don't wanna end up cutting yourself. See, this is a lot cleaner cut that we did on that side rather than using the saw, which we're gonna use later. It's gonna be really rough. But for this one, all you're gonna do is make a 45 angle. See this? Okay. So from edge to edge, you're just gonna make a 45 angle. Now this tutorial might be taking long, but once you get it going, you're gonna do this really fast. This one I don't really want to use because it's gonna create some damage. It's just not the cleanest cut. Very rough. So I'm gonna switch back to my utility knife so I can have a nice cut. One last touch up. Scrape off anything. Clean as you go. So here's a little close-up of what we have going on. It is a nice beveled hole. See that? Beveled 45, top and bottom. We're gonna measure from edge to edge right here. Going a little bit short on it because I want the piece to fit inside and not overlap. This is the only smallest scrap piece that I could find. Making my cut. Take off this backing paper right here. We don't need that. Like what we did here, we measured from the original hole, we measured 1/2 inch on each side, right? Now for this one, for this piece, once you turn it around, you're gonna measure 1/2 inch on the inside. Okay, so there's our mark, there's our picture. And these are the edges. We're gonna make that 45-degree bevels or 45-degree angle cuts, bevel cuts. Right, so you can actually take the edge right here. If you don't want to, you know, put the edge on the edge of your table. Just be careful not to cut your table, and you can use that as a guiding support. Like here, see this edge right here? You can use that as a beveled edge support. See that? So that can reduce cracking on the edges. I'm not saying that it's not gonna crack, but it's gonna reduce the crack. I know you're probably gonna say, that's so much work for, you know, just cut a drywall patch, but hey, you know, it's another technique that I'm trying to put on your, you know, list or your toolbox or tool belt, so that when you come in situations where you don't have screws or pieces of wood and this is all you got, then at least you have something, an option. See that 45-degree cut? Here's the face. Notice how the face still looks pretty well. Now let's see if it fits the hole. So here's the moment of truth. Again, putting this on the hole is not gonna guarantee every time, so you might have to make some adjustments. You might have to sand or relieve some areas to make it work. Areas that I still need to relieve. This is the one I'm relieving. See where that used to be? We just kind of beveled it out, just like that. Smaller than the hole. Okay, so that's good. Now let's make some hot mud. So what I mean by hot mud, I mean this 5-minute mud right here. This is Easy Sand by Sheetrock. I like using these for easy patch up small holes because it dries up really well. This is not just any ordinary joint compound. There's a substance in here that makes it have a chemical reaction so that it dries up like real fast. That's why when you're mixing this stuff, if you're new to it, you always just want to mix a little bit at a time. You see this, I have a little bit inside of water inside my pan, and I'm just gonna mix a little bit because we're only covering a small area right here when you're just gonna patch it up. Again, this is just for 1 or 2 coats, and the rest we're just gonna finish up with finish mud later on. But this is good for patch and repair. This product right here, I'll leave it in the description down below. It's one of my go-tos whenever I'm making drywall hole fixes, and I love it. But you have to work really fast because after 5 minutes you're going to start seeing that it's starting to get really hard, and it's going to be useless after that. A 4-inch knife or 6-inch knife, and then you're going to need some mesh tape, or you can just use regular tape. It doesn't matter. Maybe you don't even need tape for this, but I like to use options. Again, all the tools, I'll leave it in the description down below. I'm only gonna be mixing up a little bit, okay? So that's probably good. Keep it open because you might need a little bit more for the consistency to start, and then you're just gonna mix it up slowly, just like that, okay? Start cutting into it. Let it absorb for a little bit, mix it around. So the consistency that we're going for is like a little thicker than yogurt texture. This is gonna start drying up anyway, so I'm not gonna make it too dry or too thick. Take some of that joint compound that you just made, and you are gonna just butter up the edges like that. See that? You actually want it a little bit wet like this, which is perfect because once this makes contact with the joint compound, it's gonna sucking up that moisture from your joint compound. Okay, so right there, and you're just gonna push it in just like that. See that? Take your mesh tape, your joint compound while it's still wet, and then just apply some at the top. Now I know this is just a mock-up, I can't really feather it to this end right here, but you kind of get the picture. Just gonna show you how to do it on the first coat. Done many drywall videos. Check those videos out. Overall, that's pretty much it, friends. You kind of get the picture where I'm going with this. This is just the first coat. Everything, once it starts to harden, apply your second coat, and then you're going to use your 8 or 12-inch knife to do the finishing coats, to feather it in, feather the edge, let it dry, sand it, and then you should be good to go. So the main concept of this video to show you that this is another option or another way to cover up this type of hole without using any screws or pieces of wood. If you have just drywall laying around, this is a perfect solution. This beveled patch solution is a great way to knock out those electrical outlets that you might have, you know, you want to delete and you just want to cover it up and make it new again. If you have texture, I have a texture spraying video. I'll leave it up here. How to texture, you can even use canned texture if you want. Depends on what texture you have. If you have orange peel, knockdown, or maybe no texture at all. So all those options are available to you, okay? So I don't want to limit you on any of those, but if you did find value to this video, friends, please hit that big thumbs up, press the subscribe notification bell, and I hope you found this video. Let me know in the comment section below what technique you like using for patching. Again, this is not just my only technique for patching. I made a video on 6 different ways to fix a damaged drywall or hole. And this is just one of the great ways to show you how to cover up one of these J-box cutout holes for drywall. Okay, so thank you so much. Again, all the tools that I use in this video, I'll leave in the description down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you, friends.